Welcome back everyone to my Give Me God of War difficulty walkthrough, and in this video we are going to be finishing the last couple of fights in Vanaheim. There's only around one or two challenging fights, so not too bad, and let's move on to the first fight.
Time to face my brother.
And after that?
I don't know. It's been a long time since I've had a choice. Let me live with that for a moment. We can take this way back to the camp. I can help with the vines. Now embed your blades into the fast learner.
Your brother seemed open to your return.
Oh, I'm sure he'd love nothing more than for everything to go back to how it was, leaving the responsibilities of leadership to me.
Alrighty, so starting with the first fight here, you just want to throw that rock at that person, and when they are imbued with fire or ice, you can actually shoot the sigil arrows to give them a little explosion. And in this fight, so you are underpowered because you should have your leveled up axe by now, but obviously you never visited a blacksmith since there hasn't been any nearby. So it is going to say that you're underpowered, but you shouldn't really be underpowered. You just want to use all three of the rocks. There's three rocks. There's two on top, one at the bottom, which I don't use the one at the bottom, but there is one at the bottom that you can actually use. So your best bet is to try and build that meter on the Leviathan axe, like I usually tell you to do, because that's honestly the best for enemies that are way worse than, or where the enemies that are way better than you are. Sorry about that. The enemies that are way better than you, that is your best bet, is you want to just build that axe meter up, and once you have it maxed out, you can use it, and you can go to town. You can basically kill anyone, no matter if they're better than you, have worse stuff than you, does not matter. Alrighty, that is it, so let's move on to the next fight.
You learn to use what you have. It's not as though I want to be angry with Freyr. He's my brother. He was the most important person in the world to me for half my life. These plants are the same as those we saw earlier. Frost should make quick work of their poison. Now the sigil should hold the frost, even in each well done.
Alright, so there is this new enemy called Wisps, but there's not really much to explain, so I'm not really going to explain them to you. I'm going to explain them to you now, but not always. You're just going to have to hit them with a sigil arrow, throw the axe at them. Very easy, very simple. Let's move on to the next one.
After all that's happened. Wait. Skull and Hati are in Vanaheim?
We learned the giants rescued them from Odin and brought them here.
And look. The sunlight wakes the sleeping roots. See how they stretch to welcome the sun? Beautiful, no? A far cry from the sheets of Midgard snow I've grown accustomed to. The Eastern Migration. It's just as I remember it. At least the whole realm hasn't fallen to predators and occupiers. I guess there's still something to be fought for here. Something to defend even after so much damage has been done. Maybe that goes for Freyr, too.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to probably the hardest fight in this video. And probably, honestly, the hardest fight in all of Anaheim. What you're going to have to do is, there's going to be a lot of enemies coming towards you. And you just want to isolate all of them to be in front of you. And this is where really building that Leviathan axe upgrade that I told you guys to buy a little bit ago. This is where it's really going to come into play. Because there's so many enemies and you can get overrun very easily. But with this, you can kill them very easily, and hopefully it can stop them from rushing at you with so many enemies. So I'm not entirely sure if they only spawn in depending on how many there are, but as you see here, I was basically at 1 HP. I think I was at 1 HP for the entirety of this fight, trying to just keep myself alive. And as you see here, this is what's basically going to happen if you don't keep everyone exactly in front of you. You're going to see here that I basically could not stay in that corner because I had one to my left, one to my right, and two in front of me. But as soon as I got the axe to charge up, as you see here, you can easily just have crazy crowd control. It's really nice, really good. And this is the end of the fight, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure these are the last enemies. I think it's just these last two enemies. And that's it. So you just have to try to keep them all isolated, keep them all in front of you so you don't have to worry about getting hit from behind. And that should be it. So let's move on to the next fight. Okay, so I think I lied a little bit. There is actually another enemy that will spawn in, which will spawn behind you, I'm pretty sure. And yes, he is. He's going to spawn right here. So this guy's easy. You can easily just freeze him, kill him with the Hex arrows, and freeze him and just hit him with the Blades of Chaos and the Hex arrows, actually. My bad. And that's very easy to kill him. And then for this long-range enemy, you could just throw your axe to kill her if you haven't killed her already. Or you could just kill her with Freya's arrows. Whatever you decide is up to you. Let's go on to the next one.
So much has happened since I last saw Freyr. I'm not even sure where to begin.
What do you want from him?
An apology would be a start. I want to forgive him. I'd like to think he's changed. He's all I have left now. Did you ever apologize to Deimos?
It is difficult to seek forgiveness when you feel unworthy.
Now, how to get across? My sigil arrow should be able to carry the fire across the river to reach the bramble.
Forgiveness can be powerful, even for the unworthy. My wife Faye taught me that.
Well, be glad you have a spouse to remember fondly.
Okay, so for this fight, you just want to try and sneak up behind this person right here, and then I just throw the axe at her, hit her with the hex arrows, and I kill her almost instantly. That's a very easy way to kill her. Then I just freeze this one and just kill her normally, since I didn't really have to waste that. And I actually don't think I do use the rock that's up there, but you're gonna get this armored enemy, and what I usually did for this guy is I just used my entire rage bar on him. I had enough rage to do it. As long as you send him back here, I'm not sure what happened. He took a lot of damage, but I sent him basically back in that corner. I think it was the wisp that honestly killed basically all of his HP. And that's probably the easiest way to do this fight, is just keep hitting that armored guy until one of the wisps run into him. Usually they'll run at you, hit the floor, which is probably the easiest way to get him killed. And that's it for this fight. I'm pretty sure this is the last enemy right here. You can use that rock if you want on the armored enemy. That's probably your best bet, is you save the rock for the armored enemy. And yeah, that's it for this fight. So let's move on to the next one.
All my former spouse taught me was that there's no limit to the depth to which a soul can sink into darkness. Tricked me into marriage to spare my home, and took my home just the same. Scattered my people to the wind. Maybe it's time somebody drew the line. Maybe it's time someone makes Groa's prophecy come true.
I will not wish for war, Freya.
War is a terrible thing, Kratos. But some things are even worse. You know, if Atreus rushes to Ragnarok, you may not be able to stop him.
I will.
And if you fail?
I have prepared him to survive without me, if he must.
Watch for the plants. They like me, but strangers not so much. You won't be able to damage it without destroying the mother. It's a large bulbous thing. You can't miss it. So what's next for you, if not preparing for war?
I do not know, but I will take no chances with Atreus.
Well, you may want to think fast, unless you want someone to make that choice for you.
Ready?
As I ever will be.
No. It really is you. You returned to us at last.
Yes.
Let's celebrate. You reclaim the throne. We'll rebuild. Me and you against the world. Huh? Just like the old days.
I'm not staying.
I don't understand. You're here. Maybe together we can take back what's ours.
I only just got back what's mine. I still have work to do.
You've seen what's left of the realm, right? Do we really mean that little to you?
You question my loyalty? Vanaheim turned its back on me.
Oh, you still can't let go of that old fight?
It was my duty to save as many of our people as possible. My responsibility. One you didn't take seriously then, and from the looks of it, one you don't now.
You think this is a game to me?
Yeah.
We lost everything to that maniac you called husband. The man's family set me on fire. How did you expect me to react?
Like my brother! Like the boy that used to have my back no matter what! And who I always supported no matter how selfish his choices. I expected you to come and find me. That no matter how hurt or angry, you wouldn't abandon me when I needed you the most.
Freya, please. I thought you were dead. I've had to live lifetimes with those last awful words I said to you. Have any idea what that's like? Knowing that your own selfishness hurt the person that you cared about the most. Abandon you. Oh, Freya. I mourned you. Oh, I've missed you so much.
And are you, Ingvi? But I won't bind myself to another realm when I finally have my freedom. I'll send help, though. And I will come back. I promise.
This hasn't been your home for a long time, has it? Do what you gotta do.
All right, that's enough. Ain't y'all got nothing better to do than gawking at family sorting squabbles? Come on, you two. Not you. Got a few things to square with you. Second is that sigil magic I smell on your bow. Reckon that's an idea I'll steal. How's about I set you up with some sonic mojo? Call it a trade.
Very well.
Third of all, if you ain't staying here, bears mentioning that Sindri and I find ourselves running a flop house for unemployed gods. If you're done freezing your backside off in Midgard, maybe come back with Beardo there. Check up on your old pal Tyr.
That's kind of you, Brock. I may do just that.
Well, all right then. I'll meet y'all back at the house. Unless you want me to fix anything up first.
Well, brother, care to meet our new allies? Or shall we depart?
Suppose that big fella we're traveling with might want to help me with a thing.
Mayhaps. Now and again, he's in the mood to make.
Okay, so it looks like that was actually the last fight of this video, so you're just going to see me upgrading some stuff. So if you want to stick around, we actually, in this video, at the end of this video, once I'm done obviously upgrading everything, we actually are able to get the best Leviathan axe attack in the game, the one that I was using all in God of War 2018, which is R1, 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 and then R2. So it's R1, 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 R2. You're going to see me get it at the end, and you're going to see me highlight it under the axe one. It is the most important ability in this game, in all of the Norse games, it is probably the best move in the game. So I do want to make sure that you do get that, because I'm going to be using that a lot on the axe. And that is it. That is basically Vanaheim done. There's no more fights. You just have to run out to, I think it's to the portal, just back to Sindri's house. I didn't do that in this video because it was already getting pretty long. So that is it. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.
No refunds.